Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend, and this is my second take at trying to do this video. So the thing you all don't see about vlogging is that I don't always get it right the first go around. I got a video, I uploaded it to YouTube, and I said, I don't really like that. So here we are with the second attempt at making a video, so I hope you all like it. But I wanted to talk today about the 5 things that you need to be considering if you're looking at booking a short excursion through your cruise line, or you're looking at going through a third party to book your shore excursion. There's a lot of differences and there's a lot of things that you really need to make sure that you're considering, and these are my top 5. The first one is going to be guaranteed return to the ship. If you are going through your cruise line and you're looking for an excursion through them, you're going to see guaranteed return to the ship plastered everywhere. So this means that if you are running late for some reason, your excursion is running late, there's unexpected traffic, something just miraculously comes up and you cannot make it back to the ship on time, the ship is going to actually wait for you. How many of us can be guilty of standing on the outside decks watching those pier runners come up to the ship at the last moment? Some of them may have been on a shore excursion with the cruise line and they are offered guaranteed return to the ship. If you see the cruise line pulling away, that means they might have booked through a third party and they did not have guaranteed return to the ship. Now, for me, if you're looking at the third party, it's not going to have guaranteed return to the ship. So if your excursion winds up running late, something miraculous happens, that cruise line is not going to wait for you. But what I will say is, to me, this is a risk factor. So you got to kind of look at yourself, how much anxiety you have, and is this going to be something that is really important to you or not? For me, I recognize that these third parties take getting you back to the port very, very seriously because TripAdvisor is king these days. If they miss just one excursion getting people back, then their reputation is absolutely shot. And so they're going to do everything in their power to get you back to the cruise ship on time. So for me here, this one doesn't really bother me too much, but I recognize that guaranteed return to the ship is definitely a winner when it comes to who's going to have the upper hand here, the cruise line or a third party. The cruise line with guaranteed return to the ship will absolutely have the upper hand. So the second thing you're going to want to consider when booking your shore excursion through the cruise line or through a third party is the ease of booking. How easy is it to, number one, find the excursion you want to do, book that excursion, and then keep track of everything? So if you were going through the cruise line, this is extremely easy. You're going to go to their website for Royal Caribbean. It is the Cruise Planner. You can go to the app. They're going to have all the information sectioned out by what day and where you're going to be. So you're just going to the Cruise Planner. Day 5, I am in Nassau, Bahamas. You're just going to click on that and it's going to show you all of the options of the excursions that you can do. It's also going to keep track of all that in the Cruise Planner, so it'll remind you when you need to meet that group, where you need to be. It is a much more streamlined process. If you are on the cruise ship looking at booking a cruise line excursion, you can also go to the shore excursion desk and actually talk to somebody, say, hey, here's some things that I like. What do you think would be a good fit for me? And they can help guide you through the process, because the chances are they've been on these tours and they have been in these ports multiple times, so they're going to have a good indication of what it is you're probably going to like. If you're looking at a third party, this is going to be a little bit more tricky. And so there is not everything in one spot. Number one, you're going to have to kind of write down your own self, what calendar, where you're going to be, what port day you're going to be somewhere, how long you're going to be there, when you need to be back to the ship, and then you're going to need to find an excursion through a third-party vendor or site that's going to really meet these needs for you. And so it's going to take a lot more planning on, hey, what do I actually need to do in these locations? What are the highlights that I want to see, that I want to do? And then you've got to match that up to this third-party vendor that you're going to go through. And there are a couple of great third-party vendors out there that I think, come close to the Cruise Planner. It's still not as easy, but they will give you some good insight in what to do. But there is a lot more that you have to wade through. The first is going to be Viator.com. The other one, and I use this one a lot, is GetYourGuide.com. It's a great site to go to find excursions on land, whether you're on a cruise or not on a cruise. And then if you're just looking to do a simple hop on, hop off bus, this is something you can also do through city sightseeing. And they have tour buses everywhere that allow you to still see a city for one day, and it's going to take you to all of the highlights. So you still got to figure out, where you're going to catch the bus at. You've got to come up with how much it's going to cost, pay for it yourself, make sure that you're able to have the ticket when you go. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong here, but it does help streamline the activities for you. Now, in this one, when it comes to ease of booking, again, the cruise line is going to win because it is just super easy. So the third-party sites, they're not bad, but it's a lot that you have to filter through. They've got a lot of vendors that are selling excursions through them, and it's a little overwhelming sometimes compared to the cruise line where it's a lot more cut and dry. The third thing that I'll talk about that makes a really big difference between the cruise line and the third-party vendor for a shore excursion is the variety of what you can book. Now, if you're booking through the cruise line, you've probably noticed a lot of these are for more senior adults. A lot more senior adults go on cruise ships. It is a thing to do. And so with that, they want to make sure that they can also have a great time and that they can allow them to see the ports that they're going to. This also probably means that you're going to see what I call a lot more bus tours. So you're going to get a lot more tours, city highlights, things where you're going to different locations. You're seeing, a bus tour for like an hour. You'll get off the bus for 30 minutes, back on for an hour. You're going to see a lot more of that. They will have a few active things to do here and there, but I find that often those are hit or miss. And on the cruise line more so, I see that if, the more active things don't get booked, they will cancel it. They do need a minimum of people to go on it, and I feel like a lot of times those can just be canceled. Now, if you go through a third party to book your shore excursion, the world is kind of your oyster. Like, you can book whatever you want because they have private options. So you can go through, let's say, Viator.com. And by the way, I'll link to those websites down in the comments below and in the description. But if you go through Viator.com, they're going to have a private option where you can work with someone to custom make and tailor what it is that you want to do. So you can have the exact experience that you want to have. They're still going to offer a lot of the groups or the overall sightseeing tours that you're going to find with the cruise lines, but you're going to see a little bit more of an active approach, and it's going to be a little bit more custom made. They may actually run a little bit longer because they have the ability to bring you back to the ship a little bit later as well. So you're going to find a lot more variety going through this website, and they might just have a different mix and match of something you want to do that the cruise line is not going to have. Because the cruise line can only book for, let's say, the 3,000 to 4,000 people that are on the ship. But if you are going through a third party, they're also pulling from the hotels and the cruise ships, and so they're going to have a lot more variety for you to be able to choose from. When we think of the fourth item that you're going to want to consider is the group size. So as I just mentioned, if you're looking at going through a cruise line, you're probably looking at going in really big groups. I call them, the charter buses for a cruise line, because they are going to fill up a charter bus with you and your 50 closest friends to take you on this tour. And so to me, that's going to change things a little bit because, if you have 50 people going somewhere, you're going to have to get them off the bus, back on the bus. And how many times have you seen that one person that always is going to show up late and they're going to throw off the rest of the excursion? I've also found that because the cruises are, there's so many people going, they really rush you through the actual site that they're trying to see to get you back to the port for that guaranteed return. So you don't actually get to spend as much time as you want when you're in the location that that tour is taking you to. If you're looking at going through a third party, you're going to find that, it's a little bit more flexible. Number one, your group size is going to be probably 10 to 12. They're going to have a little nice van. I found most of the time they're really nice vans that they're going to take you around to the different locations. Because it's a van, it can get in and out of places much easier. It's a smaller group of 10 people. And I find that, they're going to be able to customize it based on those 10 people. So even though they may say, hey, we're doing this, if they see that everybody's more interested in one thing than the other, they have the ability to customize it to make sure that your small group is going to have a really good time. And on a more personal note, I like the smaller groups simply because you don't feel like you're a number in the crowd. And me being a solo cruiser often, it's easier to make friends and to meet people. When you're only 10 people, you feel like you're part of a community, you're in it together, and you're going to bond with those people. Versus when I go on a 50-person charter bus, I normally wind up meeting hardly anybody, maybe one person, but that even is uncommon. So for me, the winner of which one of these is going to have the best group size, I'm certainly going to go with a third-party vendor because I know that I can get a very similar experience, if not a nicer experience, with less people. Now let's talk about the fifth item you want to consider, and probably one of the most important ones because I know that you all cruise ship lovers love to pinch your pennies, is the cost between going through the cruise line or a third party. Because the cruise line is going to have the ease of booking, it's going to have everything in one spot for you, it's super organized, they've done all the research, they've got some great tours, they're going to charge you for all that. They're going to make sure that they are making their money for the efforts that they have put into coordinating that experience for you and having onboard support for your ShoreX representatives. So they're going to charge a premium to have you go on these excursions. If you're looking at going through a third-party vendor for, let's say, a similar excursion to what you would find on the cruise line, you're going to find it to be much cheaper booking through a third party, but you're going to have to do the planning, you're going to have to know what day, you're going to have to make sure that you are getting back to the ship all in good time, and you're going to have probably a smaller group with less people, and you're going to do it and probably have a better experience for less money. Keep in mind that if you do go the third-party route, you can also customize that. So if you want to do a private tour, you can also spend a lot more money here because you're going to be doing exactly what you want. So it's going to give you the flexibility to say, hey, let's save some money, or hey, maybe this is my first vacation in 5 years. I want to do X, Y, and Z, and this is exactly how it's going to happen. You're going to have to pay for that experience. It's going to be an amazing experience, but you will be charged for it. So at the end of the day, you'll see that my personal preference is probably going to be a combination of booking through the cruise line and going through a third-party vendor. Depending on my energy level and how much I want to plan, this is where I dropped the ball in the Mediterranean. I didn't plan hardly anything. I didn't look at ShoreX. I didn't look at third-party vendors. I just showed up to the Mediterranean and said, entertain me. I don't recommend doing that. Do some research. Do minimum research. Even if you're just going to the cruise planner, you're just looking at your cruise line, make sure that you're seeing what your options are so you know about where to go. If you have some extra time from there, you can go to the third-party websites and check them out and see if they have something that you'd rather do better, or maybe it's just cheaper. But there's not a right or wrong answer to should you book through the cruise line or should you go through a third party. Me personally, it's going to depend on the port, what I want to do, if the cost saving is that big, and honestly, if I just have time to plan it. All right, everyone, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see you on a weekend cruise or longer sailing soon.